Small Business Show. Yeah, welcome to the Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James Small Business Show. Yeah, welcome to the Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James Small Business Show.
Welcome. We are here, Globe Life Park, Arlington, Texas. Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network with co-hosts Brittany Wise and Carol Harper Poe, with expert practitioner Carla Murphy, our delivery courier Sonny, our jury expert Miss Carl Steen, and our credit repair specialist expert Mr. Tremel Henry. How you guys doing on this fine day?
We're
Doing well.
Doing well.
Great, Dr. James.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm so glad to have you guys here. Back to the good weather. We've had such bad weather for a while, and I'm so glad that we're back with the good weather. That bad weather just wasn't working, right? And I know that Mr. Henry, he's been traveling, so he's running out of good weather and bad weather, right, Mr. Henry?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, for the most part, it's been more good weather than bad. I mean, I'm struggling down here with this 80-degree weather. Somebody, please help. I need a shade blocker.
A shade blocker. That's in Florida, right?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
I'm down here in South Florida.
I love it. We're going to start this jam-packed show with this first topic being Mark Cuban. I think Miss Carol has a question for you, Miss Brittany.
Hello, Miss Brittany.
Ma'am, it's me. Hey, how are you?
doing? I'm fine.
Fabulous.
All righty. We're going to jump right in with Mr. Mark Cuban, and we're going to talk about the missing link in business.
Yes, ma'am. So I think we touched on it a little bit last week, and I just wanted to talk about Mark Cuban a little more because I personally am a big fan of Mark Cuban. I saw a video about him talking about his journey from zero to a billion, because he's a self-made billionaire with a B. And there's a post that's going around where he talks about having 93 cents in his bank account at the age of 27. And I thought it was so remarkable that us as business owners and those of us who are just starting this journey, sometimes we look at where we are now and we focus on where we are now, not realizing that's not where God has you going. So for him to have 93 cents in his bank account at the age of 27 and within 10 years be a multi-billionaire, that speaks volumes. And it goes to show you that we all can do that. There's nothing special about Mark Cuban in that respect. Like, we all have that ability in us. One of the things that he talks about is focusing on what you're good at. We often hear we got to have all these streams of income and you got to do all of this and this and that and dabble here and dabble there. And his whole thing was focus on what you're good at. When you focus on what you're good at, you, like the saying goes, if you focus a light, it could cut through steel. So the same light that lights a room, if you focus it, it'll cut through steel. So that's just how powerful focus is. And
Mhm.
a lot of business owners, they try to, move around and, this week they're doing real estate, next week they're, e-commerce, and, that the week after that they have a vintage clothing line, or, it's like, okay, what are you doing first? Focus on what
Mhm.
you're good at and then move from there. So one of the key things as far as the missing link in business that I thought was profound that he said was entertaining your customers. Learn how to entertain people. And it is bigger than what it seems. Like when we think entertainment, we think, sitting down watching a movie, but entertainment can be, how do I, keep these kids engaged? Like teachers have to entertain their students. So it goes beyond just, sitting down and watching a movie. So I absolutely love Mark Cuban. He also shared be innovative regardless of what people say. Just recently, since we had a pandemic, Mark Cuban is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, but the pandemic shut down the Dallas Mavericks and those non-essential workers that worked for the NBA. So there are a lot of people that work in the back office or the front office for the NBA, but because they're not
Mhm.
considered essential workers, they didn't have a job. Well, Mark Cuban chose to turn the arena where the Dallas Mavericks play, he turned that into a daycare for essential workers. And it kept his workers collecting a paycheck.
Wow.
And I thought it was so remarkable that, just being innovative and regardless of what people tell you, think outside the box. Even like he's done so many things in the NBA, like he's discussed having developmental coaches for his players. None of the other teams were doing that. None of the other teams had developmental coaches for the current players. So he would take retired players and pair them up with current players so they can continue to develop their skills, even on a professional level. And he got a lot of ridicule from the other owners in the league because it was so new and so innovative and nobody else was doing it. But now, 20 years later, every team in the league has developmental coaches. So I'm saying this to all of those that are new to business, you're trying to figure it out, you're going through the motions, this may not work for you, but you want to try something new. Don't be afraid to try nothing new. Like, don't be afraid to step out on faith because you never know. If it's something that God put in you, then he put it in you for a reason. Like we didn't have smartphones when I was in high school. Now everybody got a smartphone because somebody was innovative enough to go, hey, what if I could talk to somebody, across the globe at the touch of a button, and that's how ideas are formed. That's how we move forward as a community, as a society, and as individuals. So I absolutely love Mark Cuban. He seems to be a great person of honor and dignity and integrity, and he is a billionaire. So that gives me hope that not everybody is nasty, ugly people when you have money, and you can still do great things even with money.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That is so awesome. So,
How
tell me
sweet it
about
is.
yeah, hey, how sweet it is. Does entertainment work in any other form of business?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe entertainment works in all forms of business. Like I shared just a few minutes ago, even teachers have to entertain their students to get them to learn. Nobody wants a boring teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like every aspect of business, regardless of what it is you do, when you walk into what is that? A lot of people say when they go into the high end purse stores like the Louis Vuittons and it's the experience that makes them want to come back and spend $7,000 on the purse. It's not the purse. So they found a way to entertain their customers to keep them wanting to come back. So it doesn't matter what it is that you do. If you can find a way to entertain people and keep people involved and engaged in what you're doing, then you'll always be prosperous because people want to then listen to what you have to say. Sometimes when you talk to somebody, if you can engage them and get them laughing or appeal to the entertainment sense, if you will, then you can sell them on whatever it is you're trying to do. But first, you got to be able to entertain them and keep their interest. So yeah, entertainment goes in every business industry, I would think. What about you, Dr. James? What you think on that?
Oh man, entertainment actually does work in other forms of business. So I love the entertainment business because, you know, like you, I've done some commercials and was been in some series. So those things kind of keep the dream alive as far as if you want to do anything on TV in that manner, as far as acting or being an actress. So I agree with that 100%.
Right.
All right. All right. Tell me about the strategy for dance brands CQ and WMD. I am very curious about this.
So CQ is my dance team that I'm on. We're the Curvy Queens of Dallas, and I have my own dance brand, which is the Wise Move Dance. And some of the strategies that we've started looking into and developing. First of all, our social media presence is a big deal with any business, but especially if you're a dance team because you're visual. So, sometimes like Dr. James' daughter is a singer. She can kind of get away with just using her voice as a means of, a streaming. But because I'm a dancer, you got to be able to see me to really be entertained and see what it is that I'm doing. So doing dance videos and having that social media presence with TikTok and YouTube and all of the social media platforms, Instagram, is a big, big deal for dance teams or dance organizations, period. So also, we're always forward thinking. Like, we have a team of individuals and we all work in our strengths, but we're also forward thinking on how we can be better. From everything from the way the wardrobe looks, when we're doing a video, okay, what are we wearing in this video? What is it that I'm trying to sell? What is it, the story that I'm telling through this song or this dance move? And we're using everything, including our body. So it's like there's a certain level of strategic planning that goes into even the simplest thing of down to the shoes and the shoestrings and the hairstyles. So it can go pretty far beyond just the basic, where am I at now? And that's what a lot of brands or, fitness brands, dance brands, they miss that part of appealing to the physical eye and what people are seeing.
Awesome. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. We are going to maneuver into one of my favorite topics, Miss Carol, which is astronomy. We hadn't talked about that in a minute, so I want to get back into astronomy. And we're going to talk about that next. Hello, everyone. I am Dr. James, host of Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network, broadcasting live each week on Saturday at 1 p.m. from Fishbowl Radio Network Studios at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. Log on to hear us talk about and feature small businesses and the life of a small business, the struggles, the triumphs, the daily operation, the grind of starting and running a small business. So be sure to log on each week on Saturday at 1 p.m. to catch Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network. Let's jump in.
Need credit repair? Then contact our professional and friendly team to learn more about our range of custom and tailored services designed to suit your exact needs. Every one of our professionals have acquired years of experience, which ensures you get the very best. Our experienced staff are waiting to hear from you and to answer any specific questions that you may have on how we can meet your needs. Just ask for a consultation and let us prove our commitment to you as we promise to maintain the highest level of quality and commitment. Your satisfaction is our prime concern. So please don't hesitate to get in contact with us and let us show you all the great options we have.
Make
all right. We are back. Globe Life Park, Arlington, Texas. Dr. James McConnell, the Small Business Network. We're getting back to one of my favorite categories, which is astronomy. And Miss Carol, what do you have to ask about that?
I would like to ask you, what's the distance from Earth to the sun?
All right. Well, before I answer that question, do anyone here know that answer? How far is the Earth to the sun? Do anybody have an answer? No answer?
A billion
Ah,
No
miles?
answer.
A
No,
billion
not
miles?
not really. Not on my end.
say it again, Miss Carol.
A billion miles?
It is 93 million miles away. So you guys know this.
Oh,
It's
wow.
93 million miles away. That is crazy. Understand the light that we see takes a long time to get here, right? Because you think the sun, that light just immediately shows up here. It's not that simple. It takes time for that light to make it here. But because it's shining bright and it's so intense, the time it makes it here, you think is immediate, but it really takes long. But 93 million miles away is what the distance is.
Oh, wow. All right. So what is an example of a failed star?
Oh man, listen to my gun smoke. So, so, do anyone here know what a failed star is? First of all, anyone here know this?
Would it be a black hole?
Okay. Actually, that is a product of a failed star. That is a cause and effect. Very good. Who just answered that?
Carlstein.
Oh man, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. But believe it or not, Jupiter is a failed star. That's why it's so big. It's 300 plus times the size of the Earth, but not quite big enough to be a star. And that was not a planet at first. It was supposed to be a star, but it failed. And so because it failed, it became what it is, and that's why it became what we call a planet, which is just a giant gas planet. There's nowhere to land on Jupiter. It is a failed star. Anytime you hear the word brown dwarfs are failed stars. They're normally brown looking, kind of a burgundy look, sometimes a maroon color look. They're failed stars. So, some stars, they make it and they become suns. They become, very bright stars. But there's failed stars, and Jupiter is one of those failed stars. Crazy, right?
Wow. Off the
Hey,
chain.
I know we're going to switch gears now, Miss Carol, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to talk about the world biggest news, the world business news, and Apple Watch.
Okay. Well, the Apple Watch, from what I understand, the anniversary gift someone gave to a person, plus the future that it helped change. Let me give you this news. Lori Marsh gave her husband Bob an Apple Watch for the 17th birthday. Well, obviously he used it a lot for running to be able to keep up with his heartbeat. And that enabled him to keep up with kind of what was going on with his heart. Well, believe it or not, that truly saved his life, because it doesn't get any bigger than when he was able to find that his heart was beating irregularly. He went to the doctor, and the Apple Watch actually saved his life. Isn't that something?
Wow, that is
it's
something.
amazing.
That's amazing.
Technology is amazing.
I know, right?
Right.
It has
So-
advanced.
so-
It has advanced.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. James, could you give me some news about the Apple Watch, or elaborate on it a little bit more for us?
Okay, well, there is an Apple Watch Series 7, and listen, I am an Android person, so I'm only giving this news for all you Apple Watch people or Apple, but people that want stuff like that. And I do have a watch, but it's an Android watch, so I'm an Android customer. But just giving news. New Apple Watch models debut each fall like clockwork, and the countdown to the Apple Watch Series 7 has already started. In this roundup, we're tracking everything we know so far about the next generation of Apple Watch. So, does anyone here own an Apple Watch?
I do, Dr. James.
Okay, and who is that speaking? Miss Carlstein?
No, I don't have an Apple Watch.
Oh, Carla. Okay, so Carla, tell me about that Apple Watch. What series is it, and does it measure your how you feel like the watch should be?
Actually, I'm not sure of the series. It was a gift, but I absolutely love it. I love the functionality. I love the fact that it can sync with my phone. I can make calls from it. So it's a wonderful addition.
Awesome. I love it. Well, we're going to move to our jewelry expert, Miss Carlstein. Miss Carlstein, we're getting into classic style here. What is considered the classic style of dress?
Well, I think that depends on the venue, Dr. James, but there is a basic protocol to having a classic style of dress, such as a blazer, a white blouse, a skirt, black slacks, that sort of thing, a basic black dress. So you can accessorize with your jewelry or your scarves or things of that nature. Now, if I were in a Western venue, I might have jean boots and a nice shirt on, but I want people to understand that with that classic style, you can also update it with new and exciting jewelry from C&D Jewelry.
I love it. How sweet it is. So, what's C&D's classic style of design?
Our classic style of design uses good gemstones, quality gemstones, medallions. We use stretch and wire jewelry, so if you don't want to be bothered with, attaching a clasp or something of that nature, you may just put it over your head because it's a stretchy material. So we cater to that because there are people who have arthritic conditions, and it makes it much harder for them to put their jewelry on.
Got you. Okay, so what is a pearl?
Oh my, a pearl is a thing of beauty and a joy forever. It is just a marvel. It's nature's authentic gem, where it's renewable. But what's happening to our pearls is that we're being inundated with storms. The salinity may change, and those things affect the quality of the pearl. And if the pearl has enough nacre, which is the luster that builds on it.
Got you. So, what impact does the environment have on a pearl production?
Well, since it is nature's sustainable gems, the greatest threat is climate change and disease. You've heard of that thing called the red tide. Well, the red tide is nothing more than algae feeding on, the river silt, and it stops pearls from growing in fresh water. It also may affect saltwater pearls growing. Now, there is a difference between saltwater and freshwater pearls.
Okay. I love it. So, we're going to transform over here and go to Mr. Tremel Henry, our credit repair expert, about how our bankruptcy is placed on your name to all three credit bureaus. Mr. Henry, can I have it legally removed?
Yes, sir. I want to tell everyone on this panel, God bless these kings and queens. I love y'all from afar and distant.
Love you too,
my brother. At the end of the day, yes, sir. We're here for each other. So your question is about this bankruptcy. Yes, ma'am. Your question is about the bankruptcy. Can you have it legally removed? Yes, you can. So the process of having a bankruptcy even placed in your name, of course you're going to go file or you'll pay for filing. meaning you'll probably get an attorney or so, or you do it yourself. You go to the courthouse will give you a date. They file the date, you come back, the bankruptcy is placed in your name. The courthouse will then send the bankruptcy to a place called Pacers, right? It's a third party area where they collect all your information, and then Pacer would then take that information and sell it to another company called LexisNexis, which some people may be familiar with that company as well. But LexisNexis is another third party company that will house all your personal information as well. So once it leaves Pacer to the LexisNexis department there, LexisNexis would take that information and will compress it into their software, and they then will sell it to the 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian.
Gotcha.
So during the process of them compressing it and sending it along, so that is the bankruptcy that was filed then that will get translated into your name on your credit side. So it goes against you on your credit side. However, things happen once they go to compress it and house it for themselves.
Right.
So what will happen is then you. I'm sorry.
Okay. No. So how long does a bankruptcy stay in your name?
Oh man, they liable to stay there for 7 to 10 years. 7 to 10 years. Depends on the filings of what you have. If you file in the Chapter 7, then you're looking at least 10 years. If you file in the 13, you'll have 7 years. But it'll stay in your name all the way until 10 to 7 years. And then you can convert a Chapter 13 to a 7 if need be, or vice versa.
Awesome.
But back to the first question quickly. The information that you asked me if it can be removed, it can be removed because the ending of that filing of the bankruptcy that was translated from LexisNexis to the 3 credit bureaus, that may have inaccurate information recorded in your name. So which means that any grounds that are not that if your information is not reported properly in your name, those are grounds for it to be removed legally.
Got you.
If that answers your question.
It does. It does. So we want to move into what are good trade lines for my personal credit, and I want you to answer that question after this commercial break.
Welcome to the small.
Here we go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you I can help you out. 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 I can help you out.
My name is Carol Harper Poe. I am here to introduce myself. I have a podcast, CDH Podcast, Tell It Like It Is, Be Real, on Anchor.com and Specify. I also have a YouTube channel on YouTube that put my business out there and just motivate people and everything. So, and I want want to introduce you to my new book release, Justice for All Equality. You can find it on Amazon.com, or you could text me at 469-643-6498 if you're interested. And also you can get it in Kindle and soon to come audio version. So please text me or email me at Carol's Publishing Company 17@gmail.com, or text me at 469-643-6498. Thank you.
Thank you. We are back. Arlington, Texas. We back with Mr. Tremel Henry. Mr. Henry, can I buy a house with poor credit? Can you hear me, Mr. Henry?
Say that again, sir. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, can I buy a house with poor credit?
Oh, man. That's a great question. Yes, you could buy a house for credit. However, that's not the chance or likelihood of what you like to do. You want to buy a house with perfect credit or near perfect credit so you can get great rates. You can buy a house with damage and poor credit. However, you're going to get the worst rates and you're going to pay almost 3 times the amount. But it's possible. But my answer to that is yes.
Okay. So can I have a repossession removed from my credit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You come on down here to Platinum Credit Group, LLC, and we can definitely take care of you and your issues with your poor credit and your repossession. So your repossession, you definitely can be removed. The same status there is if this information is housed in your name on your credit report, inaccurate, it can be removed from your name. It can be removed from your credit report easily. All you have to do is look for all of the inaccurate information that are filed there, that are inside that file, and then ask for them to validate and verify for all of the information. When I say them, I'm talking about the credit bureaus. You're going to send a letter out to them, and they're going to send a letter out to the furniture company who actually filed that report in your name there. And then if they cannot produce or give you the information that is the accurate information, that's grounds for removal. Absolutely.
Awesome. It's time for our courier expert, Sonny. Sonny, we want to talk about encouragement. Why everyone needs it, brother.
Well, first I want to say good afternoon to everyone, and glad to be on here on live. First, I want to say encouragement is important to everyone to keep people on the right track, give people strength. See, I see encouragement as strength, for someone to move forward, give someone hope to prevail.
Awesome. So never let discouragement get you down, right?
Yeah, never let it get you down. I'm saying let it be. I say take discouragement and let it be a building block for you. Because some people are always going to say, "No, it's not good." I know a lot of people on here know about dream killers. It's not always good to tell people what you're attempting to do. I know Miss Brittany had spoke on it earlier about if you're something good or something, focus on it. Don't let no distractions or no kind of discouragement setbacks be there. So let that be a building block for your success. Never give up. Never be never entertain the negativity. But I just want you to keep pushing because I've come to appreciate discouragement because I know it's only been fuel for a setback, for a comeback, for me to continue to press on and do what I need to do to endure.
I love it. Let's talk about on-the-job employment. It's a job to keep a job, right?
Yes, and I say that, and I don't mind indulging in my personal history of jobs. I'm 45 years old, but I had over 45 jobs, maybe more, temporary and permanent. But I've been on my job going on 13 years, and I say it's a job. Keeping a job is that you deal with all kind of work, politics, people from different backgrounds. And when I say diversity, you got to know how to have a straightforward a straightforward look at things, because that's your livelihood. Not speaking, even if you have your own business, you're going to deal with the general public. But you have to be straightforward, know the things about keeping a job and working a business. Have the option to be adapt to each situation to meet the customer's needs or to do your service on a job that you're at. So that's why I say it's a job to keep a job, but always remember the main focus of why you have a job.
Awesome. So knowing how to pick your battles in the workplace is very important, right?
Very important, and I say that because I know we have to know how to pick our battles in the workplace, because that goes back to saying of our livelihood. See, we have to be the solution and not the problem. So, and then I say by being the solution, Dr. James, all on the side of my voice, is that we have to be agents of change, on a job, because people are looking. And I'm not just saying that, hey, if you say, well, I'm just a worker, or I'm not talking about management, because even if you're not in a position of being a leader, a manager, your coworkers, they're looking at you, So I want to say, be the solution and not the problem. And managers, they would try to make you out to be the problem, because some people, they see what's what, but it was the same when I was growing up. Say, well, I'll go along to get along, and that's all fine if that's what people choose to do, or whatnot. But be the agent of change, of quick resolvement on a job, knowing how to pick the battle. Like, hey, I'm here to get a check, or I'm here to do my job and do what I need to do. But I also always understand that, hey, I want to be part of the solution. I don't want to be a part of the problem. If I'm being part of it, I want to be a part of agent of change to work towards better.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's move on to our expert practitioner, Ms. Carla Murphy. She's going to talk about encouragement and support from leaders. Ms. Carla, what are some ways that leaders can offer encouragement and support?
Well, thank you, Dr. James, for asking. There's a few different things that people can do as leaders to offer encouragement and support, such as asking questions and then actively listening. They can also practice and promote empathy. We all need some empathy. They can make decisions based on their company values. They could be vulnerable, and also it will help when they build a resilient routine.
I love it. I love it. So what are some benefits of encouragement and support from leaders?
It helps to share resources and to be a role model, enable continuous feedback and inclusivity. It provides a path and a timeline, hires great leaders, creates a coaching culture, and it gives opportunities to lead. So it helps to define what good looks like and to focus on proactive commitment.
How sweet it is. So let's talk about creativity in the entrepreneurship. What is the meaning of creativity in entrepreneurship?
Well, creativity is the ability to come up with new ideas and to identify new and different ways of looking at a problem and opportunity. So it's a process of assembling ideas by recombining elements already known but wrongly assumed to be unrelated to each other.
I love it. I love it. So what are some ways for entrepreneurs to become creative?
People can gather new ideas and resources, clarify their values. They can watch stimulating videos, read autobiographies, start a journal, draw a picture, and they can let themselves daydream. And so those are some of the things you can do along with consulting with others to help you to be creative.
I love it. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. So we're going to move on to our co-host, Miss Carol. Come on down the yellow brick road to Compton. Okay? Our topic, how do you build a house compared to building a business? We're listening for you. Number one, support, shape, framework, and coverings. Tell us about that, Miss Carol.
Well, I'm going to jump right in and talk about, I know we got all these men on the line. I know y'all are well knowledgeable about building the house. And first, I want to get Mr. Sonny input on that. Tell me how y'all build a house.
Well, first you have to have the good foundation with the framework. So I do know that nothing without a strong foundation. You have to have something to build off on, to structuralize and to build. So that's part of having the framework. So the insight I have thus far.
Okay. So also I'm going to add with that, building the house, you said the framework, I got that already. And it says the support and the outer covering. And also it goes along with your business. You have to have a structure and a foundation for your business. Because if you don't have that foundation, your business crumbles. So this is why I want to put that.
That's it.
God gave it to me like building a house. Yes, I'm semi-knowledgeable. That's why I asked you, Mr. Sonny, because building a house, yes, I got the paperwork on it, but I know you guys as a man, you can give me that. But I'm going to hit it right with the business. Building a business, you have to have that right foundation. You have to have all of your parts in the house of what you need with building a house. And I'm going to just run right into it, Dr. James. You got to have the cost of the house, and the cost of your building, how much it costs and what it's going to be. Like a single house, it's going to cost you almost $274,000. But what about your business? What your startup price is? What it's going to cost you to get everything to work that business? Okay?
I love it.
Ms. Carter, can I add to that too? Okay,
yeah,
well, like that, when you said this way, and it's very imperative, very important. As much as we put out the cost, I was just speaking with someone earlier. The much we put out for the cost is the same thing we want back in return. We don't want to break even, but same thing that we put out, if we are hard and what we want to do off of our business, we don't want to shortchange ourselves. So as much as we put out, we want a little bit more, or if not more, to come back in, because that's just how confident we are or going into business, doing what we need to do. The money that we put up front to start it out, whatnot, we want to make sure we're getting that same thing in return for when we're conducting business and taking assignments as well.
So I guess.
Can I chime in on that just
yes,
real
sir.
quickly? I think that we just failed also just to remind you guys in anything, whether it's building a house and building a business and building a relationship, even with building yourself, the vision is the most important there. Nothing starts without the vision. The vision is the most important. It comes from your mind to manifestation, from your mouth through the universe, and then therefore everything else will follow. If you don't see that and you couldn't see yourself being able to see you starting from A all the way to finishing to Z, then that will definitely hinder you, and you'll miss a lot of steps in between that. I just wanted to say that.
Listen to Mr. Henry's Gunsmoke, and I have something to add to that as well. So,
Come on now.
So check this out. So, what Mr. Henry said and what Mr. Sonny said is the nail on the head. How this works is
hammer time.
Like you have to have a vision, right? All that's great, but like I've been posting on social media for the last few days, you have to have the end in mind. If you have the end in mind, see, most people think about the process or what I got to just get and the process of getting to where you want to go. But if you do that, you may be in the process your whole life and never reach your goal. So if you can think about what your end game is, right, whatever the end is, let's say your end game is to build a business that's in 10 countries or 10 states, 10 states. The revenue is $10 million per year after you pay your workers, and you want to have 100 trucks, Mr. Sonny, or whatever, 1,000 call center building. Those, if you can think of that. Think of what the end game is. And sometimes I hate to always put numbers on stuff, but if you're going to put a number that's nearly unobtainable, right? So put a number, I want a business in 50 states. 50 states, I want to make $1 billion a year, right? So put in these numbers like that, because what happens is when you think of the end result of what you want, the brain, the subconscious part, starts trying to figure out a way how to reach it. That's what the brain does. No matter what you think or say, it will try to reach those goals. And if you fall short, well, $1 billion may be $200,000 a year. Who knows what the falling short is? But if you think of the end goal, all those dreams will work. So I love talking about that, man. That is awesome. Miss Carla, would you like to add in on that? Miss Carla, are
Hey,
you
the
here?
kitchen is still. The kitchen is open. Let's keep cooking.
Let's keep cooking. Miss Carla, you here?
I'm here.
You have anything to add?
Well, I think that everybody hit the nail right on the head, and keeping the end in mind is certainly important to fulfill your vision.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And everyone here, you guys know how I'm going to end this. If you have customers that have spent a certain amount of money with you, at least over $200, and they or they use you twice, that equals up to over $300, then I'm going to help you hook them up with a gift. Sometimes a $200 gift card, sometimes other nice gifts. So keep that in mind as you take care of your customers, because you guys are partners. Whether it's NBC or the show or both, I'm going to take care of you. And all you got to do is just ask. Just let me know. I've had Miss Carlstein and Don already tell me about a list of people they've handled, and I'm going to meet with him later, and I'm going to hook him up with some gifts. I'm going to get these customers' names. I'm going to be able to send them emails. I'm going to give them gifts because of what they spent with him. See, not with me, what they spent with him. So keep that in mind. I care about you guys. So Mr. Sonny, Miss Carla, Miss Carol, Tremel Henry, everybody here, Miss Brittany, everybody here, whenever you get customers spending a certain amount of money, you let me know, and I'm going to hook you up to hook up your customer. Why? Because I care about you guys, okay? I love all of you guys. And this was a fantastic show. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll speak with you guys later. See you guys later. Love you.
I love y'all. Love you. Lord is good. Amen.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. James, host of Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network, broadcasting live each week on Saturday at 1 p.m. from Fishbowl Radio Network Studios at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. Log on to hear us talk about and feature small businesses and the life of a small business, the struggles, the triumphs, the daily operation, the grind of starting and running a small business. So be sure to log on each week on Saturday at 1 p.m. to catch Dr. James McConnell's The Small Business Network. Let's jump in.
Welcome to the Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James Small Business Show. The Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James Small Business Show. The Small Business Network Show. Welcome to Dr. James.